All right. What's good? What's good, everybody? What's good, man? Welcome to another edition of Tony Real the God Chronicles. Everybody, what's good, man? Welcome to another edition of Tony Real the God Chronicles. Everybody, what's good, man? Welcome to another edition. Sorry about that, everybody, man. I had to cut my TV off. My TV was loud in the background, and some other stuff was going on. Okay, y'all. Brother Azriel, Sister Leroy, go ahead and hit that link in the in the chat. Hit the YouTube link, and y'all come on in. What's good, everybody? What's good? Glad everybody could make it. Uh, to the show. Appreciate everybody that had been sitting and waiting and anticipating. I saw y'all. I saw y'all waiting, until the show started. I saw you. Y'all was ready to get it in. I'm talking to the viewers. They was ready to get it. They sit there waiting too. They like, yeah, you about to start a new show. So I appreciate y'all coming out. All right. Miss Leroy, what's good? What's good, Miss Leroy?
No, nothing. Just having a day.
Just having a day, huh?
Yep.
Oh man, is your day going okay, Miss Leroy?
Yes, sir.
You say it is?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. I hope your day is going well. Well. Hopefully it's going better than mine going. I can't even tell which. You say what now, Miss Leroy?
I said I'm having a blissful day.
You break it up, Miss Leroy. Yeah, you don't see the link? Okay, hold on, brother. Let me put it in the.
I said I'm
Okay.
having a blissful day.
All right, Sister Divinity, what's good, girl? What's good?
Hey y'all. Good afternoon, beautiful people.
I'm gonna send the link in the description in the chat. Hold on, Brother Azriel. Here it comes. Okay, so you should see it now, Brother Azriel. The YouTube link right there. And let me move this here out the way. You breaking up, Sister Leroy.
I say, how you doing, Sister Divinity?
I'm good, Queen. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm blessed, baby.
That's good. Today must be your off day. You look like you ready. I know that's right.
Yeah, it is.
So I appreciate everybody coming, man. I appreciate y'all coming. You know what I'm saying? This is gonna be a hell of a show. This topic is going to be very, very great. And I can't wait to hear all the greatness, all the guidance and advice that y'all can give everybody. Brother Azriel, you should see it, brother. You should see it. You still don't see it? Okay, well let me email it to you. I'll email it to you. I'll do that. Trying to get Brother Azriel in right quick, y'all, and then we can get this show on the road. So so Sister Divinity will be co-hosting today, Miss Leroy.
Okay.
So,
and this is my first time as a co-host on any show, so we're gonna do this together.
That's all right. We're gonna make it through.
There he is. There he is. Okay. There he is, brother.
All right. What's good?
Right.
What's going on, King?
What's happening? What's good? What's happening, Queen? I'm doing good.
Yeah, it's
doing
always
good. I can't complain,
it's always
man.
a gift. It's always a gift to have have everybody come together, you know what I'm saying, for these for these events, man, because information is golden when it comes to when people don't have it. So I appreciate everybody that's that's been watching and that's come today. Y'all been sitting there waiting until the live started, so I appreciate y'all patience. Appreciate your patience. They was like, yeah, when you gonna get started? Be patient, we coming. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate everybody viewing from Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. How y'all doing out there? Y'all doing okay today? I hope y'all day going well. If not, please don't come on the show with that noisy stuff. So, all right. So today's topic for all the viewers to know is how to identify red flags. And I'll say overall, just in case anyone want us to be specific. Relationships, love relationships, business relationships, friendships, anything concerning, dealing with people, how to identify red flags, okay? And also what you can do about those red flags. What are the solutions to those red flags? Okay, everybody? All right. So today is Sister Divinity's first time co-hosting the show. So I'll let Sister Divinity do her introduction and let her take it away. And of course, y'all, I'll come in back and forth, but I'm gonna let her take it away. Go ahead, Sister Divinity.
Okay, so as he stated, this is my first time co-hosting the show. I'm not really sure how it goes, but we're gonna provide room for it to unfold in an organic way, right? So today we're talking about red flags. We're not limiting the red flags to a relationship, a partnership. We're also looking at the red flags.
She breaking up real bad. Miss, you was breaking up real bad.
Hold on, let me see if I could. Hold on.
I can hear it just fine.
Okay, is that better? I turned on my do not disturb.
Ooh, baby.
No, maybe I should go out and come back in. You think?
No. Well, I can hear you fine. Can you hear?
I mean, I can hear you pretty good. Yeah, I can hear pretty nice.
It might be your network or something, Ms. Leroy.
Ms. Leroy, can you hear them?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and continue. Sister.
So as just an introduction to the topic, I just wanted to be clear that we're not confining the red flags to be limited to showing up in a relationship or a situationship, any type of partnership, but also identifying the red flags internally, right? So what type of red flags show up physically with you? What type of emotional red flags show up? What type of mental red flags show up for you? Spiritual or financial red flags. So these are going to be the things that are most commonly showing up that are contributing to your shortcomings, right? And you have to be able to identify those things. If you're not able to identify those things, then you're going to be at a disadvantage, because really identifying your red flags is like a prevention strategy, right? So for example, and then I'm gonna get into my question on just how you guys are viewing the red flags as it pertains to physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. So, for example, a red flag within your physical health would be like different pains or different ailments, diseases within the body coming up in different reports, right? That's a red flag. That's something to raise your awareness that, okay, I'm not physically handling myself or providing myself with appropriate nutrients or cooperative components so that I'm able to function at my absolute best, right? An emotional red flag will probably be someone easily getting triggered or judgmental or jealous, right? These are red flags to raise awareness within self, like, okay, this is not normal for me to be always jealous, for me to always be judgmental, right? Those are red flags, but we look at it like, okay, this is just me, this is who I am, and that's what it is, right? But those are really red flags, right? Mental. Some of us go through identity crisis, right? Overwhelming thoughts. If you have like a swarm of like overwhelming thoughts to where you reach a point of confusion, and a confused mind does nothing, we know that that is a red flag, right? Mentally. Spiritual red flags. If you don't have any energy to create, you don't have no peace within or surrounding you, that's a red flag spiritually that you need to reposition yourself, right? Financial red flags. This is the last one. Spending money versus investing it. If you find yourself spending more money than you're investing, if you're not getting a return on your investments or the things that you do with your finances, then you know that that too is a red flag, right? So really today, as always, is going to be a show on raising awareness towards red flags externally and internally, right? Because in order for us to really get a handle on the external realm, we have to internally get our red flags together. We have to adhere to the awareness that is, being called from us from within. So I would like to ask Sister Leroy what her perspective is as it pertains to the red flags, and how do you identify red flags internally? Like what within you most commonly show up that you know now that you can identify this as, okay, this is a red flag, this is something I need to work on. I don't know if she can hear me, Tony. Can you hear me, Queen? Okay,
Hold
I
on,
can't hear
sister.
y'all.
Your mic is muted, sister. Hold on a second. Unmute your mic, sister.
Maybe she needs to go back out and come in.
Unmute your mic. I'm trying to do it for her, but it's not.
Type it in the chat for her, Tony.
Okay. That is weird. Okay. What was your question to her?
I don't know if she can hear me. Can you hear me, sister? No, I don't think she is.
No, okay. It must be something wrong with a network. That's probably why. Cause see, I can mute myself and unmute myself. I can mute y'all and unmute y'all, but it wouldn't do it for her for some reason.
Okay, well, we'll just move on to you, King. You heard everything that I said, right?
Yeah, I did.
Right. So what's your take on that? Like, how do you think red flags show up most commonly to raise our awareness?
Red flags can show up in your health. I think that's probably one of the most intimate red flags that could possibly
It's
pop
something
up. And the
going on
reason
with
why I
the
talk
audio, y'all. It's making everybody sound like robots.
Okay, well, we can hear each other clearly on this end, Ms. Leroy, and it might be. I don't know if it's maybe the network on your end.
Y'all.
What'd you say, Ms. Leroy? Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah, you breaking up really bad too. Could you? I don't know. Could you maybe go outside or
try to unconnect your Wi-Fi and connect it again.
Yeah.
Maybe do that plug in, plug out.
Now can y'all hear me? Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I had to move from the other side of the couch.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's wonderful. Wherever you at, that's wonderful.
Right? Okay.
Now, what you want to ask me, dear? Because I couldn't hear you, baby.
So you probably missed the whole breakdown of what I was speaking on as it pertains to the red flags mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially. You missed all of that, right?
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay, so can you just touch on what you think? What do you think? Where do you think red flags most commonly show up to get our attention?
In a relationship.
How so?
And friends, in a relationship, a red flag will usually come out when he or she does something unusual or that's not regularly normal what they do in the relationship, and it'll come to a point to where you know that the relationship is not working out anymore. It's terminated.
Right. So what about for people who are just coming together? Like how would you identify or be discerning within, raising your awareness to pinpoint a red flag before you get yourself too kind of engulfed into a situation? Like what do you base the red flags on initially before you even know a person?
When you're just trying to get with them to just meet them sort of relationship, oh God, it comes from me from the phone call. If we having a conversation on the phone and we end, well, let me give you an example like this. I was talking to so and stuff person, and this person kept thinking I was someone else, and I said, no, you didn't talk to me about it, so no, that ain't it. And so I blocked and hung up and don't return phone calls anymore. That's a red flag.
So based upon the conversations that they have, that lets you know their perspective on life pretty much, right?
On the heels, yeah.
What about you, King?
Like I said, I believe that a lot of these red flags are one of the first red flags that people come to understand is in your body. It's a physical manifestation of neglect or to ignore. And as we look at words, to ignore means to literally to ignore. You literally ignore, like, example, when I was in track and field and being an athlete, I had pain in my body, and I was always getting banged up, but I was always doing the same thing to get banged up. So, but you don't look at this as a young man. You're playing football. As you continue for long periods of time, the little damage that was just a little thing for you when you were young is catastrophic when you're older because the body physically changes literally, and it doesn't really get used to it. It starts to break down eventually. That's why when you're running, it's hard on the knees. When you run track and field, all your weight is coming down, even though the muscles and the calves may look good, but the knees take a beating, the joints take a beating. So with the ignorance of that, and you enjoying your sport or whatever, you'll endure this pain. Likewise, it is in finances. Likewise, it is in decision making, lack of discernment as it pertains to relationships. You're able to, you have stagnation, whether it's a toxicity relationship, it's stagnation. You're not growing together. You're literally staying together and destroying yourself. And that's why we
Mm-hmm.
call it toxicity. But I believe that in our health, when you get cancer, when you start feeling physical pain, that's when most bullheaded people have to stop because your physical body is in jeopardy of not being able to perform its original duties, which basically grabs the psyche and locks you down, completely locks you down. I don't care how much money you got, I don't care how ambitious you are. When that body starts getting some pain, it's gonna knock you down. So I believe that physically it starts for us. Now, other people more mental than most, we're able to pick up those things on a different vibration. But my overall observation, I would have to say, is physically the physical
Yeah, that's
ramifications of
true.
the ignorance of being in tune with self. Yeah.
That's true too. Because I went through that with my body and I didn't know what was going on. And, I was working, I'm a workaholic. And I used to work 3 jobs at one time. And I kept saying, well, what's going on? Why come I can't get up some mornings? And all the time, it was my body trying to shut down on me because I ended up finding out I was a diabetic. And I had high blood pressure at the same time. So, but
Wow.
I feel that.
And that's what happens when we're trying to endure something that we're supposed to be learning from. So when you
Mhm.
endure something without an end result or without any type of growth, because things hurt, we understand to grow is painful, but it's another thing to sit in a painful situation, relationship, ailment, some type of condition, and you're enduring it for no reason. You're just enduring it feeling like, this is what you're supposed to do, and it really
Mhm.
is just a play on perspective, right? So it's all about the perspective. And you're right, King, because when I was not providing my body with the physical nutrients that I needed to sustain myself, my energy was at an all-time low. My confidence was at an all-time
Mm-hmm.
low. And so everything in my life
Mm-hmm.
started to mirror how I was feeling internally. And it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, yeah, that's a red flag. And you can consider it a normality, like, oh damn, life sucks for me. That's just what it is. You know, it was written in the stars that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
my mom wasn't nothing. This is what happened to my grandma. And then you have all of these other alignments that is validating that belief that you have, right? Because
Right,
you
right.
create your
Mm-hmm.
reality. And so when you start
Absolutely.
taking care of yourself physically from the things that you put in, the things that you put out, the exercise, you align with better thoughts. You align with better emotions, right? So it does. I really agree with
Mm-hmm.
that wholeheartedly. So I know that I'm supposed to host it, right? I don't know what Tony went, but we do you two have any questions as it pertains to red flags that you would want us to discuss about at this moment, or you kind of want to just keep going?
Oh,
Um,
I mean, number one, go ahead, sister. Rock with it. Go
go
ahead.
ahead,
You got
baby.
it.
You good? Go ahead.
So
I was gonna say that number one. I was gonna say number one. You're doing a good job. Yeah, I think that you're holding the reins right now. So,
okay,
you're doing a wonderful job, straight like that. Real talk.
thanks. Humble beginnings, right? So,
Oh yeah.
okay. So let's just shed a little insight on how identifying red flags initially as it pertains to a relationship. Like let's paint a picture to
Okay.
where
Relationships.
uh,
Hmm.
Well, I'm listening to what you're saying. We got the topic. You said relationship, so I'm on the level. I know where we're going. I'm just waiting to see how you gonna drop it to us, Queen.
right. Okay, so like I was asking Ms. Leroy in the beginning, when she was saying like identifying the red flags with a person that you've been with for so long, once their behavior begins to change up, that's a red flag. But contrary to already knowing a person and developing some type of situationship with a person, how are they identified from the initial point, right? And so to understand just me personally, I understand and I identify red flags first based on perspective, right? Like if our perspectives are not in alignment, like if we don't see or understand life on a fundamental truth of, okay, we're the creators of this, we're not going to be a victim, we're going to take life by, um, uh,
Hmm.
clear, deliberate, conscious decision making. I have me a vision, I'm doing these things to exercise myself. I'm personally developing. If our perspectives are not in alignment in that retrospect to what we both understand personal development, that's already a red flag. So really for real, that's not something I'm willing to ignore, but this is what it looks like when you do. So let's say your perspectives don't align when you first meet a person and get into a relationship. Then what's going to happen is y'all disciplines are going to be off. The way that y'all choices that you make is going to be off. When you
Hmm.
ignore the initial red flag to understand, okay, this person is not in alignment with my assignment. This person, and this is the things we overlook. This person is not a visionary. This person has no structure. This person has no management of emotions. And you could just create a list from there, right? But we overlook it like, okay, well, I see a little potential, so maybe we could work with it a little bit, But then when you try to force it, then it begins to look like, okay, your choices differ from mine, right? And now that's going to lead to miscommunication. Now we
Right.
miscommunicating because all due to us ignoring the fact that we're not on the same wavelength. Right. So now, if we're not on the same wavelength and I'm going to ignore that, then moving forward, we're going to have some miscommunication. I'm going to misinterpret what you're saying. We're not going to communicate properly. Right. And so that also can lead to like an identity crisis to where if okay, so for example, if I'm miscommunicating, I'm not going to understand my partner who understands structure and he wants to invest money versus spending gifts on me or versus buying furniture for our new house, right? I don't understand investment. Our perspectives are not in alignment. Am I losing y'all or y'all still with me?
Oh,
Oh,
come
we
on
here.
now. Keep on talking. Keep on
Okay.
going. Now.
Okay, because sometimes it can seem like I'm rambling. So if our perspectives are not in alignment, we have this miscommunication, right? So I'm not gonna understand you, investing your money into this course, and you not gonna understand me, buying the things that I like to make myself feel good, right? Because we're not in the same wavelength, right? And then that's gonna lead to, if you really like a person enough, an identity crisis, because now you want to fit into a reality of this person that you kind of like overlooking the red flags for. So this person that's making all of these investments, now you kind of trying to fill the shoes to kind of meet him where like he at, when really that's not where you at, because you ignored the red flag. So now you going through an identity crisis and you trying to live up to a standard based on how this person lived their life, right? And you already knew this coming in the door, but you decided to ignore it and try to make something work, try to force it, try to say, oh, well, maybe I could change this person, or maybe if I do this, they'll do that. But you don't understand that these red flags initially are set in place for you to be discerning and move forward, right, from that. Do y'all have anything to say thus far? Because I feel like I'm rambling, but y'all said y'all with me.
You know, Queen, you please continue about that. Please continue.
Please continue. Okay. So, and that's basically just how to, like paint that picture of what it looks like when you do ignore red flags. Red flags are a prevention strategy. Red flags are to raise our awareness, whether it come from a person or, like I said, internally, right? So red flags, you want to boundaries, right? You want to create boundaries, and the reason you will create a boundary within yourself, that you will not allow yourself to self-sabotage or others to sabotage. You want to create boundaries because it's going to make you a little more discerning of red flags, right? Does that make sense? Like, you'll be your perspective is kind of, you more structured in the way that you're seeing things now. So a red flag, you kind of looking for red flags at this point, not overwhelmingly so to where you creating false scenarios, but you kind of assessing your life, looking for the things that can possibly be like a stumbling block, and you doing your due diligence to get ahead of all of that, because you really and truly understand that these red flags are sent to really raise my awareness. And I'm not gonna take heed, I'm gonna die like this. And generations to come are not going to be able to learn valuable lessons because I'm ignoring the red flags, because it's easier for me to stay complacent. It's easier for me to create conditions in my mind that, makes me comfortable. And so red flags are very important to identify inside and out. But once you really understand that the true red flags are always going to signal internally first. Right? It's always going to be internal. It's going to be something that is flagging for your attention. And you might want to call it blue, but it's a red flag. You might want to call it blue. You might want to, trick your mind and say, no, that's not that. You sweep that under the rug. That's not that. He's really a good guy. He's better than he was yesterday, blah, blah, blah. Right? So I would like y'all to chime in for just a bit so I could breathe and get y'all perspective on everything as it pertains to what I just said. Leroy,
on the red flag thing. The red flag thing you was talking about in relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I saw them, but I ignored them. So what happened was, instead of me doing something about the red flags, my body started breaking down, losing weight, not taking care of myself, looking any kind of way as a woman. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me doing the things to do for myself to defend myself from the red flags, I let it go on and on and on, thinking, like you were saying, that it would work out later on down the line, but it did not. It did not. It did not. Them
Right.
red flags were so bad. I could have did some move, but I didn't let it get that far. But I had broke my own body down, trying to make it seem like that it was gonna work out for those many years. Those a lot of years, 16
Yeah.
years.
And that's self-sabotaging at its absolute finest. And I'm going to let you speak, King, but just to piggyback on what she was
Oh, it's
saying,
all good.
then
All
once
good.
you invest so much time enduring and receiving these red flags and you're constantly overlooking it, it becomes more so then about you than the other person. Like, that person at that point is just doing what that person is doing in that season. For you to constantly overlook red flags and overlook, it's not about that person. Like, it's all about, well, what's going on with me that I even sat around that long, to even tolerate this or overlook that or sweep that under the rug. And so now moving forward, I'm not doing that again, because I done been there, done that, like the old folks say. I done been there, done that. I don't have to bend the block. I'm not going backwards, and so it really gives you self-accountability. Like, you want to become accountable. And like, I was self-sabotaging for a very long time, and I was blaming everybody, even God. Anything would have done, right? I was blaming anything and everybody on just me not showing up. Go ahead, King.
Oh, it's all good, sister. I'm just sitting here enjoying it. I'm taking everything in. Like I said before, I believe that everything is about self-work. Okay, and our experiences are so beautiful, but they're so horrific all at the same time. And as we look at red flags and we call these things, this is how I see it. We're souls, and we have this body that we call flesh, and this thing is not as strong as what we think it is. It's very remarkable when it relates to diseases, if you're eating properly, and you're doing your energy work and stuff like that. You can prolong this body, literally. But on the inside of really actually who we really are, as far as the souls, the Godhead, the God Himself walking in the spirit, supposedly. Easier said than done. A lot of work involved in this. You see everything. So when you feel these emotions that someone ain't right and you ignore that God seed, it gets cut off, it gets lost in translation, it goes back to your subconscious, and that makes up 93% of your reality, and it starts to become an automatic thing. Now, the things that you think that you're conscious about, well, that's just only a little bit of percentage of what you think that you know. Outside of the circumference of your understanding is all the things that you don't know. It's all the things that you've kicked back into your subconscious, and you haven't even done your shadow work. You haven't even done that. And you see, and so and just for educational purposes, shadow work is when you literally go within yourself and you find Goliath. You literally have to go find him, because see, he doesn't come and find you, he destroys you from within. That's when the Bible verse says, when a kingdom is divided against itself, it cannot stand. That's when Jesus gave the analogy of a strong man coming into your kingdom and taking over. He hides. He don't want to be found. He don't want you to find him. No crooked robber that's in your house wants to say, here I am. He wants to surprise and ambush you and take you out. It's your job to find him. And so, with that being said, these are all red flags. So just imagine dealing with things outside of yourself, men, women, relationships. You feel that energy, and you make a wise and conscious decision, subconsciously or consciously, to do it, whether for personal gain, for spiritual reasons, religious reasons, financial reasons, whatever kind of economical reasons. You could put whatever title you want to. You make a decision to go in, but when you go in ignorance, you suffer, and hopefully you survive to learn and gain that experience. And then you take that experience, and hopefully you're not too dull and too now stubborn to be able to receive new experience, because you still have unresolved issues with previous things you have not even understood completely.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of my take on it. And I'll just kind of regress from there and let you continue to rock with it, Queen.
Okay, so I just made up this question as you were speaking, right? So this might sound a little crazy, but I want y'all to answer it to the best of y'all ability. What is a benefit?
All right.
What is a benefit from ignoring a red flag? What type of benefit can you get from staying somewhere and ignoring a red flag? Like if a person is constantly coming to you, like me, I was always the go-to person. So I would always have my homies, my cousin, or anybody, they coming to me as the go-to for advice. I would find that these people are constantly coming to me for the same piece of advice. And I didn't say this 50 to 100 different ways, and they still coming, right? So okay. So now to put it in perspective, what do you think of how can you benefit from ignoring red flags? That's simply put. And that does sound crazy. And if you don't know, just say you don't know, because I'm gonna give you what I personally think.
No, you can't if you see.
Uh-oh. I think we lost her again.
I think she's trying to come back. Rocky Balboa is hard to knock out now.
People think they can't.
Sister, do you have your Wi-Fi on, or are you using your data?
Who, me?
Miss
I'm asking.
Leroy, do me a favor, sister. I want you to go down, and then I guess find a better signal around the house or outside, and then come back up. Can you do that for me, sister? Miss Leroy? Yes, yeah. Miss Leroy, yes.
Oh, I need to move again?
Yeah, because your signal's really bad.
Okay, what about now?
It's working out right now.
Yeah, that was a little better.
All right, thank you, sister.
Yeah, hopefully you don't got to stand up. You know what I mean? You got a little stool or something.
That's better?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, awesome.
I'm not sick of this stuff. Okay. Now you asked how can you benefit red flags?
Yeah. Do you think it's possible to benefit in any way from ignoring a red flag? I'm gonna put it like that.
No. No,
No.
because
Okay.
if you could benefit from a red flag and you know it's not a good red flag, but you cannot benefit from it if you're gonna deteriorate yourself from inside from out. It's like someone's beating you and you standing there and letting them beating you constantly. You cannot benefit from a red flag. Now, unless it's a red flag from a child or your mother or your kids or something like that, maybe yes and maybe no. It all depends.
Okay, that makes sense. What about you, King?
I believe you could do anything you put your mind to it, man. I've done this shit before. I mean, I don't mean to be so abrasive with that, but I've been through I've been through the ringer, man, and I will even provide some examples very quickly. You know, I've dealt with a lot of people that I knew that was no good, that was very dangerous people. They were not playing around with me. They were not fucking around with nobody. Let's be very clear about this. And I knew that. But you know what? At the end of the day, I did it anyway because I chose to do it. Now, there's ramifications with every decision that we make, but I really literally bond because I'm a communicator. You know what I mean? And I connect the dots. I put the pieces of the puzzle together. I'm a storyteller. I'm an indigo child, so I came down here to destroy the system anyway. So the rebellious people, I understand that gangster shit. I understand that stuff, and I make sense out of it. And then when you step out of that and you start to come into this corporate world, right? Everyone's got these red flags. Everyone's scared of everybody. Oh man, he's scary. There's a red flag. Oh man, well, there's a white supremacist. Red flag. Oh, well, there goes a guy. I think he may be out me. Red flag. Everyone's throwing red flags. They even do it in the football game. So we're trained to think about these red flags. Eventually, you have to master everything. You have to. Yes, now some things you're not ready for. Some things that you don't have the tangible skills, the intellectual skills, you don't have the financial stability to even sit at the table with some of these people. Now, some of those situations you just got to kind of just move on by and just take that loss or whatever you want to classify and move on because it's very dangerous to sit at the table where you guys don't even, you don't have the same lifestyle. It's very dangerous to sit at the table with those type of people. So, but at the end of the day, you can change anything. And if you're like someone like me and you really understand energy, man, you could do anything now because you just don't travel the right hand path. You also can travel the left hand path. And when you deal with the people on the left hand path, you can easily connect the dots. You're not some holy roller. They don't got to ask you questions of you, the feds or police, because you understand the dark world. You know what I'm saying? And so when
Right.
you understand that balance, you got harmony. And that's all I'm saying. And I've been on both sides. So it is attainable, but most people don't want to go through that. And I understand that. That because it's some tough shit when you start doing stuff like that.
Exactly. And it builds character.
Mhm.
It does build your character.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
First,
Yeah.
more so negatively, right? But you have to experience the
Hmm.
dark in order to step into your light. So you have to be in
Exactly.
those lower, most unfortunate situations in order to really understand what it means to not only strive, but to consistently strive. Because it's one thing
Correct.
to
Yeah.
strive. And once you reach your peak, you might fall back down because you have not really experienced the depth of yourself to understand, hell no, I'm not going back there. Right. So when I ask that question,
Hmm.
I'm not asking a question to say, oh, how can people put themselves in situations to where
Right.
they're
Right. Right.
overlooking red flags and benefit from it?
Hmm.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Hmm.
if in a natural way you are in a situation to where you constantly had to endure red flag after red flag after red flag, the greatest benefit from that is how it's going to build your character, how it's going to play on your perspective, how it's going
Right.
to build your
Right.
strength, how it's going to raise your awareness to the various people and different energies that you're going to come across, right? So it could be very beneficial. And I'm not saying to willingly put yourself, again, don't willingly put yourself in something that you know you're going to have to, suppress and overlook and sweep under the rug. But you want to, if naturally that's happening, I feel like that's one of the benefits. Like really being in the trenches can really build you up to new heights. Right. So
Right.
that's really
Right.
what I
Right.
meant
Right.
when I asked that question, because then you understand that it is you versus you. Because now here is this person that
Right.
you love so much, and they're
Right.
constantly inflicting pain on you and constantly inflicting pain. And this is a person that you love more than your mother. This is a person that you love more than your cousin. Them. This is a person that you love so much, and they're hurting you to make you realize that at the end of the day, it is you versus you. Like you're gonna
Right.
have you don't have to endure this in a way that you're staying and you're sustaining this relationship, but you endure the lesson within it though, right? Like you understand that, yeah, I got to sit with this. Yeah, I messed up. Yeah, I endured that. I overlooked that red flag a little bit too much. So this is going to develop me. And you set that intention in your mind that, this is going to be my, my pivot, right? If that makes sense. And sometimes you have to lose to win again. So I just wanted to ask that question to kind of like, just throw a little difference inside of there. Do you want to say something, Ms. Leroy?
Oh no, I did it. I did to myself when I was young until I was like 20, no, about 29, 30 years old. And I had to learn from it from within myself, because at first I thought it was a good thing, but I had to teach myself that it wasn't. So I ended up talking to these older couples, and they explained it to me, and I understood it. And ever since then, I haven't had that problem, because I had to learn from my mistakes from back then to now, and that's why I'm single. That's single. I can't deal with this craziness. I just can't.
Yeah, I say that's why I'm discerning. That's why I'm very discerning now. I don't
Mhm.
feel like I'm single. I feel like I'm always, and this might be a little bit too technical, but I feel like I'm always like guided and surrounded by like the presence of my ancestors and like this high vibrational energy. Like, so I never say single. I know it's a play on words. I never say I'm single. I always say that's why I'm more discerning now, because it is like when you're discerning and when you really step into your self-realization, you're not as open to just give off your energy here, and here, because you understood that through those red flags that, damn, this really taught me a lot about myself. And being discerning is definitely one of them, right? Just being more
It's
discerning.
the same thing for a man. I mean, if they've been through the same thing, because men go through the same thing women go through, and it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to put your heart back out there for other people, because you don't know if they're gonna do the same thing the other one did, because you have to be very careful. Really, to me, you have to be light on your feet. So it's not about me being single. It's just that I be careful about what I choose. You know, I just be careful about what I choose. I prefer to be around my kids and grandkids than being with a man. I'm not losing nothing. I ain't gaining nothing.
Right. And then from understanding that there is a great deal of work that I have to do within myself in order to um line up with a person who does not exhibit all of these red flags anyway. Like, just,
Right.
the reason all of these red flags were showing up, let me just put my own ass on a platter. The reason these flags were showing up, not because this person was just an ain't shit ass person. It was because my perception of self was that of, lack and limitation. So it was the places that I would meet these people. It was under the conditions that I would meet these people that, certain people, like, okay, so your brain surgeons or your multimillionaires, you're not really gonna catch them in the hood areas. You're not really gonna catch them standing on the blocks, and so it really had to go from, okay, yeah, I don't want to say like guys, and I'm really trying to choose my verbiage, but how a lot of times people say, niggas ain't shit, and I don't want to just make such a broad statement, because that really doesn't apply to everybody. The reason I would think once upon a time that niggas wasn't shit was because of the condition that I was in mentally, of where I was meeting these people that ain't shit, where I was meeting these people that have these red flags. So now it's kind of like when my standards within self rise, like I'm not even putting myself in positions to even line up with people that was doing those type of things. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, baby, because it's about say I broke up so and so 6 months ago, and a guy walk up, well, hey, how you doing? You want blah blah blah? I want to give you my number. Well, no, right now I don't want to be in a relationship. Oh, I might be better than other person, but no, it's a thing about building yourself back up. Back up. If we can't build ourselves back up as a woman or as a man, we're not going to be able to do a relationship with anyone. It's like you have to find yourself all over again. It's like starting off as a newborn baby. It's just it's some things do think some things sometimes I can't even say my words. Some things that you go through with a red flag with people, it doesn't matter if it's a relationship or whatever. It tears you up, you know. But if
Yeah.
you can't sit back and wait and breathe and find yourself and build yourself back up to where you need to be, it's never gonna work out with anyone. You're gonna always think well, how I know he ain't gonna do that? How I know she ain't gonna do that? You don't want to put yourself through that. That's a wear and tear on your body and your mind and your brain. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
Okay. Now this is another question. Why do you think people misinterpret the red flags, or why do you think people decide to ignore red flags? Do you think it's because maybe they're not really identified as being a red flag, or like what do you think? Why do you think people just ignore or just overlook or just kind of roll with the punches?
Well, some people that don't want to identify the red flags or pay attention to the red flags. Some people are really deeply in love with that person, and they think they can fix it and they can work it out. And then some people really don't really care about the red flags, as long as they can get what they want or how they want to get it. But I just use myself. I'm better using myself. With me at that time when I seen all the red flags, I saw them, but at the time my mind was still with that. I still love this man. I was in love with my husband. You know what I'm saying? We had 3 boys. We had 2 boys, and to me, I felt that longer I stayed and dealt with whatever it was, it would work out. And then we end up with another son, and me, I just destroyed myself. No matter what, the longer I stayed, I destroyed myself even more and more and more. And then later on down the line, I just started wilding out, doing crazy shit. But you have to learn from your own mistakes and remember the mistakes that you made to come back to correct yourself and would be within yourself. If you can't do that, to memorize the things that you did to yourself or what you went through into the relationship you were in or whatever it was, you'll never be meaningful for yourself or no one else, because you haven't rebuilt yourself, you haven't talked to yourself, you haven't guided yourself in the right direction. But if you can get yourself and build it back up, you know what I'm saying, and to be in a relationship with someone, it's a hard thing, but you can do it though. You can defeat the things that you went through no matter what, but you just have to want to do it and understand why you're doing it. So if you do meet someone, so if you do meet someone that you want to be with, you'll be on his level, he or she level, and y'all be able to communicate and talk about whatever it is you're going through. But if you can't do that, it's not even called for. It's not necessary.
What you think, King? Why do you think people ignore red flags?
Hold on a second, y'all. I just want to come in and say, Divinity. Hold on a second, y'all. I just want to come in and say real quick, y'all. Sister Divinity, you're doing a great job, sister. You're doing a great job.
You.
I like how you're handling the show. I like how you're carrying it. You're doing a great job. So, y'all be looking forward to seeing this sister do this again, because I wasn't expecting her to do so good. So I'm sitting back and I'm taking notes. I'm like, okay, she's killing it. I give her a little bit. You know what I mean? So
right.
So so y'all continue, man. I'm gonna keep taking these notes, man. Y'all continue, man. I'm loving it.
All right.
Okay, go ahead, King.
Now, for the sake of clarity, if you can repeat that question again.
Yeah, I said, why do you think people most commonly ignore red flags?
Well, there's about 1 trillion reasons why people would do certain things. So that's a very hard, tough one. So I would basically say energy. And this is the reason why I would say energy. It's because some of us have had a lot of energy. And when you have energy, you can deal with anything. Like I said, you don't have to have a lot of common sense. You're still going to suffer. You're still going to get the ramifications out of ignorance, but you got the energy to do it. As we get older, when you start hearing people say, oh man, they got time for that. They got no energy for that. They don't burn all that stuff out, you see? And that's what ignorance will do. You start getting stagnated in a relationship that's toxic. It's eating your energy. So if you survive that or you get out of that and you meet Mr. Right, the reason why you can't deal with Mr. Right is because you ain't got no energy for Mr. Right. because
Mm-hmm.
it takes energy, and then if you're not regenerating yourself and healing yourself from that, and you're just going from one relationship to another next, man, let me tell you something, man. Don't expect really anything other than good sex, because that's about all you're gonna find, because you're not doing your self work, and you
That's
can't really be happy and say it and mean it. So, these are simple things. So it's energy, and I've always known about energy. So, but people make the decisions because they're like, hey, that's a beautiful girl over there, man. She looks bad. Boy, look at her. Got to be more careful. But she's fire, man. She's fire on the street. She's fire in your mind. And I'm not saying that all women are like this. I'm just giving an example because men are like this too. They bad as hell too. They toxic too, and they will destroy your ass too. But why do people do this? Because number one, they like what they see. Number one, they like what they heard. Number two, and they're young and they got the energy to do that. Now they lack the wisdom and understanding to understand that this is going to cost you, but they're not looking at it from an energy perspective. They're not looking at it
Facts.
from a timeline perspective. They're looking at it as if, oh, that looks good. They're looking at it as a point where, hey man, you're trying to hold me back from having fun. And now you made enemies. So what do? A wise person just says, hey son, hey, come over here, daughter. Look, sit down and let me tell you a little something. See that dude over there? He's a strong man, just like you're a strong woman. Y'all got only so much energy, and then that energy gonna disappear one day. And just
Mm.
leave it like that. Just don't say nothing no more, and let her fill in the blanks. Let him fill in the blanks from there. They'll learn more off of that than they would ever learn from reading a book. Let me tell you.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. And one thing that spoke loud was understanding that wherever your focus goes, your energy flows. So if you got all your focus, time,
Mm,
energy, emotions, belief system, and perspective wrapped up into a certain something, yeah, that's what's gonna be tugging on your energetic strings. So I definitely agree with that. So what do y'all think? Like, what kind of ways can we prevent from dealing with red flags? I know we kind of touched on it, but like to go in more in depth on how can we position ourselves and what type of different strategies or principles can we utilize in order to not be so susceptible. Now, I'm not saying everything gonna be peaches and cream, but how can we get ourselves from being so subjective to dealing with people who exhibit these red flags or these red flag characteristics? What can we do as like a prevention mechanism, if you will?
When I see him, I walk away. I get in my car and I be gone. That's all I can tell you.
Detach,
I
detachment.
refuse. That's why I detach myself. I refuse to lose my energy again. Just like what Brother King, Azriel was saying, it's a tough battle to get your energy back when you've been, when when you lost it. And I
Hmm.
want
yeah.
mine. I want to keep mine. I don't want to lose mine again. So, baby, I will be gone. I'm not gonna sit there. No red flags.
Mhm.
Those are not red flags. Mm-mm.
Right.
I would
What
detach
about you?
myself and be gone. You hear me?
Oh man, uh, one more gig, Queen, because I'm out here juggling a couple of things. Go ahead and say that question again for me.
Okay, so how can we prevent ourselves from
Uh,
dealing with red flags? Like, what type of prevention
okay.
mechanism
Oh,
can we come up with to kind of, can we utilize different
okay.
strategies or principles in your?
I got you. I
Mhm.
got you. This is my thing. We've heard this before, so I'll say it again. Become as children. There you go. Become as little children, and you'll see everything. And I know that it's kind of vague, but I'll kind of do my best to connect the dots. Is that when we become back to our original state before the indoctrination and everything like that, we're more in tune to our childlike sense. And children know when they don't like stuff, and they're very expressive. They just can't articulate very well like we can. So that when we start to get in tune with ourselves, we are literally able to not only articulate, but we're able to position ourselves in ways where we can eliminate and also to reverse that situation to our benefit because of the experience. Now, if you don't have any of that, then there is no pre-factor for you, because a lot of this has to deal with each individual situation anyway. So if it's a financial situation, and you're just prepared for a physical situation, you're going to learn a terrible lesson because you're not fully covered, with your understanding, with the totality of what it all consists of. So it's going to vary with each situation, and you don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that being an expert or being really vigilant in a relationship is not beneficial, that you can't apply that into other areas or aspects of your life. But those other areas and aspects of your life comes with different dynamics, which brings a whole new different political system and social system with it too as well. Because we're in North America, and in North America, this is a business. And no matter how spiritual you are, if you mess up in the natural, you're going to pay, and you're going to pay really hard. Some of us, we pay in the courtroom. So, that's pretty much my take on it, Queen. And at the end of the day, experience is a great teacher. When you learn that hard lesson, the best thing you can do is say, hey, you know what? Okay, how do I not do this again? And let me come in with this type of energy and this attitude, rather than like, oh man, I done lost a whole bunch of money. Like, oh, that ain't gonna benefit you nothing. You learn nothing. You absolutely learn nothing. You go in there and you find out just how bad the bullet hole is, so you can know what the damage it does, and then say, I'm not going to do that again. I may make a lot more other mistakes, but it won't be this one. That's wisdom and understanding, because you're open to not be like, oh, I know everything, because you're still going to get hit anyway. So take your bullets, right? Heal your wounds, don't have regret and resentment, and move on. And things get way better after that.
Well said, well said. Yes, I love how Tony just gave a moment to my book, y'all. This is my new, recently published book on spiritual ascension. So we're going to primarily be speaking on the power of thought, manifestation, meditation, possessing intelligence over the emotions, healing the childhood traumas, breaking the toxic cycle, shifting the generational curses. This is going to be manifestation at its absolute finest. Y'all can find this book on Amazon, or you can get it from me directly. Pre-signed copies. It's From Energetic Particles to Material Matter. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. So, okay. So I know, we speak on childhood a lot, right? Because our childhood has a lot to do with our current, reality. So how would you say, or can you give an example on how a red flag or a situation that occurred during a childhood now shows up as a red flag in adulthood? Can you give an example on? Okay.
Oh wow.
There she is. You can go first, Queen.
First of all,
you can't. I don't know if she can hear. It really don't matter who go first, but can you hear us, sister?
And now
Yeah, I didn't even hear what you had said, but you can let King go. Then I can understand.
Okay.
Well, first of all, Queen, I wish I could answer that.
Yes.
I didn't hear you.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, that's what you was getting at. You said you wish you could answer that. You didn't hear me.
No.
Okay, so basically,
I mean, you were talking, but you sounded like Megatron, off of Transformers, talking to Optimus Prime. You sounded like Megatron.
Okay, let's remix it. Let's remix it. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Maybe I'm delayed.
Let me sit down. Maybe I can hear you a little bit better.
I don't know what's going on with the reception. Is that better?
I don't know. It's crazy.
You're still you're still choppy.
Okay, I'm gonna try to ask the question again. By the end of the question, you can tell me if you heard me. Maybe you can now. Can you hear me?
I'll just walk around.
Okay. And then Sister Leroy gonna answer the question first, if she don't mind. Okay, so I was just saying that we speak a lot on like childhood, right? And the things that we experience during our childhood and how we carry a lot of those things energetically into our adulthood. So how can a trauma or something that we experience as, during our childhood show up in our adulthood as a red flag?
Okay.
Just
I
to
carried
give
around a lot. I carried around a lot of stuff from my childhood, but I have brought it into a relationship and it didn't work good.
Right.
Didn't come out good. But it's best to but I have grown, and now I understand it better than I did then.
Right. And so the example that I was going to use before I allow Brother Azriel to speak was like, as a child, you know, just to give an example, it could be someone who kind of lacked love, lacked the nurture, lacked the care, lacked the validation from the parent, or, you know, whoever was the guardian. And because that kid was so isolated, or not really cared for, now in adulthood, that trauma shows up as a red flag, as, you know, somebody or a woman being so desperate for love, or just, you know, doing anything to get the validation from her man, or whoever she's with, right? That shows up as, that's a red flag to self. Like we were talking about those red flags that happen internally. If you find yourself giving a little bit too much in areas that you're not really being received, you have to take into account that this is probably something that is coming with me, or that's following me from my childhood, because my mom didn't really give me the love, or I didn't really get that love that I really needed from the adult in my life, right? So now as an adult, I'm running to it. I'm desperate for it. I'm putting myself in all kind of situations to, you know, stay attached to, you know, this false perception of love. So that's something I kind of wanted to raise our awareness towards as well. Can you hear us now?
I mean, I can hear you talking, and I'm able to get the gist. I just got to move because you're breaking up, but it's good. I got the gist of what you're saying. I really do.
Okay. I don't really know how to make that better, y'all. I don't know. You sound like, I mean, you outside and Miss Allison moving all around. I don't know.
Can you hear me
Hopefully
very
they can
clear?
hear
Can
us.
you all hear me very clearly?
Yes.
Okay, okay. You all should. I went ahead and I had purchased these not too long ago, so you know. But it's all good. I understand, and I'll respond to that. As it relates to childhood and the I would actually say this is one of the greatest holocaust um, damaging relationships is between a child and their parent. And this is the reason why I say that is because as we're
See, the
Uh-oh.
internet ain't good today. There's something
Y'all
wrong with
bear
it.
with us. This must be, you know, when stuff like this happens to me, it's like it's something real valuable about to take place here. And it's gonna be a matter of how bad do we want it, but we're gonna stick it out. We still got some more time. Yes, make sure y'all go and order y'all copies from Energetic Particles to Material Matter. I also have a book club that I am launching on the 1st of March. It's going to be on an app called Bigo, where we're going to be sitting on a panel, reading 30 minutes to an hour, and we're going to be formulating topics around the discussions or the contents within the book. So y'all make sure y'all check it out. I don't know who's all watching. I can never see the comments, but yep, and there's the flyer, March 1st. So you guys can expect to learn how to identify these childhood traumas. Everything pretty much that we speak here on the show, I'm going in depth within the book and within the book club. We're going to talk about a lot of awareness, a lot of divine healing will take place. Let's see. If he comes back up, then I guess we could get his take on it, because you gave us your take. And so yeah, so that was a good example. I just kind of wanted to ask that question to kind of like raise the awareness of, you know, people that are probably be viewing in the near future, or even people that's viewing from other platforms now, to raise the awareness that, you know, sometimes these things show up in our lives, you know, as a representation of, you know, now it's time for us to do our work, to reflect. That shadow work that he was talking about, that shadow work consists of you really reflecting and going back into your childhood, really allowing these experiences to resurface, right? So that you can heal from them. And you set these clear intentions to release this energy, because it has no place to reside within you. Like, you get real clear and intentional with this, and you can feel the energetic transfer, right? So it's the same thing. So that if you don't want to, you know, you want to grow up and you want to live in adulthood of, you know, being healed and prosperous, you don't want these red flags to be showing up. So you have to take into account that, you know, whatever happened to me as a child, I need to revisit all of this so that it don't be showing up in my life as an adult in various ways. Go ahead, King. Maybe your reception is a little better.
hold
Probably
on, hold
not.
on, man. I can't. Hold
So that's really why I asked that question. I have run out of questions, but I'm pretty sure they will come as we continue to talk. Tony, if you want to come up here and throw a question in, that's fine. If not, I guess just continue to enjoy the show. I don't really know what I'm doing, but it feels natural up here. I can say that. It just feels natural.
You doing
Okay.
you doing well,
Okay,
sister.
so
You doing well. You doing well.
you see, I'm
Keep it
steady
going.
throwing that disclaimer out there.
Yeah, you doing well, sister. Trust me, you good. You good. I know you got it. Keep up the good work.
I hope he can get his reception back good. I would love to hear his response.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh man, boy, it's been an adventure today, boy. Let me hear. Let me tell you, man. The Cali. Hey, but this is California weather, man, and things get real crazy out here. So, I do the best I can to punch in, but it's a lot of energy out here, and I'm just not talking about our energy from within. I'm talking about technology out
Right.
here in California. They do a lot of upgrading. They got a lot of this stuff going on, and man, it just knocks my reception right down. Boom. And there's nothing I can do. And as a wise person, you just say, "Oh well, man, there's nothing I can do." But I'm here. But what I was saying about childhood stuff, um, that's one of the most very catastrophic stuff that could ever go down from a soul perspective. When you have parents that are thinking for your children, and you're trying to do the best for your children, you better be very careful. And I'm gonna say, and this is the reason why I say this, because your religion and your dogma and your uneducated uh, understanding and trying to raise up a child the way that they should go, but you're raising them with only a three-part understanding of that Bible that you have in your hand. And I'm talking about that King James Bible, which is incomplete because you don't have all the books. And you start to pump all that stuff into your children. And then you take them to church and they see pastor and the deacons and they start seeing a lot of stuff happening inside of churches. Kids are not stupid, okay? They're not going to say anything to you if they know they're going to get their ass beat, okay? So that's unhealthy and communication is broken already right off the gate, right off the bat there. Okay, so then when the kid starts to reacting through body language because they're not communicating, the parent sees this, and what does the parent do? The parent tries to reach out and establish a connection, a verbal connection with that child, just to realize that it's not there. So what does the parent do? The parent starts to react and think that the child is off the rocker. So what do? They take a child to a psychiatrist. They take the child through all this dramatic stuff. So then when we start talking about relationships, well, shit, well, what the hell did we just come out of?
Wow.
You talk about every day that you got to do something. I got a brother. I got two brothers. I got a dad who's a soldier, right? And everyone's trying to do this and everyone's trying to do that. And we're going down here seeing grandma. We're going down here seeing cousins. I'm trying to survive in school. I'm barely doing that. I got shots firing over my head. I'm wondering if I'm going to survive to graduate. You got all this stuff popping off, man. And then if you survive all that, let alone dealing with a woman or a man, you talk about building a relationship, man, that's a lot of damage right there. You can't tell me with pinpoint accuracy that everybody's been completely healed up since they left the roost. Since they left the roost. You just got experience from within, and now you're trying to apply the knowledge, the understanding, but it's easier said than done. And that's basically what I want to say. When we're adults and we grow up, we're not going to go for that bullshit. Okay. No, sir, buddy, no, Bob. We're going to stop you in your tracks. We're going to say whatever the hell things that we need to say to you. If I have to cuss at you to get your attention, guess what? I'm bringing the F bombs. If I can intellectually talk to you without having to do those things, guess what? I'm going to say thank you, but no thank you. It doesn't matter. I'm not going there. And it's not because I'm afraid. Okay. It's not because that I'm not willing to learn. Okay. But I've gotten to a point where I am not just comfortable in this, but I've literally mastered this stuff. Because in order to talk about this, you have to survive this because it started in childhood. It started in childhood. And I tell you, man, people get destroyed and they reconstruct themselves from childhood, and everybody else is a byproduct of the new Terminator. whatever we want to classify ourselves. You're dealing with that. We still love our parents, we still love our brothers and stuff like that, but we got some different armor on. We all got armor on. And some of us, we've gotten to the point where we evolve. Now, these are what we would call the enlightened people, where they can start to break down the metaphysics and all that, but all that don't mean shit, because there's just too many people out here that don't know that shit. So you can talk all day and you can talk all night, but if you can't articulate in real time what these people can tangibly understand, because we're dealing with the childhood psychological holocaust, which actually makes up a lot of that subconscious that I said, that 93% of reality. And people don't know why they do what they do because they seen daddy do it. Oh, because I saw auntie around that corner getting busy. Oh, the pastor was sitting up there and he explained to me why that lady was on her knees. That type shit. That's what I'm talking about. Those type of goodies, those cherries right there. And then the parents, because they're the guardians, they articulate and say, son, whatever the hell comes out of your mouth, we remember that shit. We
Right.
remember that shit. And then we have our own personal experiences. And so this is really this is the real nutshell of everybody here, because when we come together as a collective and talk about any topic, this is what you're dealing with. So we don't like to be thrown into scripture, because this is why people fight religion. This is why
Mm-hmm.
there's pushback, because you're not going to sit here and just throw my whole experience away and trust Jesus and just keep it moving. Because I'm like, hold on a second, I'm really messed up, man. I'm a real bad man. I'm ready to punch you in the face. And they're like,
Yes.
dude, you need Jesus. I just got finished telling you, man, I got problems. And then they stay right there. You know why? Because they don't hear anybody talking about it's okay. We're all like this. And some of us, we learn to stop this. Well, how did you do that, brother? Well,
Mm-hmm.
come over here and let me show you. This is what the world needs. And that's why it's a high demand for those people who are enlightened to speak, because this is what the world needs. This is what the universe is calling for. So for those people who are energy healers, like you writing your book, talking about the shadow work, talking about the psychological stuff, this is the time, because this is the healing that is mandated from the beginning of time for all mankind to rejuvenate and to go back into the original state, right here, the original state of what we used to be. You know?
Exactly. Exactly. And constantly building and layering energetic traumas onto our already preconceived trauma from our parents that was being made manifest in the states in the womb, right? We our point
Exactly.
of attraction begins in the womb of our mother. So based upon the emotions and things that how well she managed those things, right? If she doesn't manage those well, then that's going to create a chemical imbalance and her apparatus is going to be, and so we come out in misfortunate thoughts and upbringings and things like that. And to really like raise awareness in a way that like with whoopings, right? That's kind of like susceptible. Like people accept or they don't really shun you for whooping your kids, right? But the mental damage that this can do, and just real briefly, with me understanding like giving my kids whoopings right now, I'm telling my children not to yell, don't curse, and don't hit. When you mad, don't go to school doing that, right? That's a bad reflection on mama. But then the first thing I do when they irritate me and make me mad is I yell, I hit, I curse, right? And so now subconsciously, I'm teaching them how to process anger. I'm teaching them how to deal with that anger subconsciously, right? I don't really mean to. So now when they go to school and they emulate what mama did, now they finna get a whooping from me because I told you don't go up here doing this. But this is what I'm teaching you indirectly through my actions, right? And it's the same with like inconsistent love. And this is the last example I'm gonna give as it pertains to like red flags showing up in adulthoods, right? You could take a child, for example. I'm gonna use my child, for example. Her father had been in her life consistently up until a certain point, right? Now she knows she loved her father. Her father ended up just moving, disconnecting, right? So now she has she has to realign her perception to understand that, okay, this is my dad. I know I love my dad. I know my dad loves me. Even though I can't consistently talk to him, even though he's not consistently providing for me, even though, I can't pick up the phone and just call him and just, I can't feel comfortable with him. I know he loves me. And then now moving on in her relationship, if she keep that perception, now it's gonna be, that's my boyfriend. I know he loves me. He's not always available for me. He might be inconsistent in his way of doing things, but it's the same way my dad. I know my dad loves me, right? I know this guy loves me. And it's just really like a play on perception and what you're allowing your kids mentally to be exposed to, right? And that molds the reality of their adulthood, right? Did y'all hear everything I just said?
Yes.
Yeah, so because I think that's very important that we do have these type of shows, and we do have the book that I put out, or whatever projects that you two are working on. If you're working on anything, we need that, because people like myself, I was so conditioned to see things a certain way, to whereas if you came in my reality and you didn't see it the same way I saw it, I thought something was wrong with you. So I wasn't even open to change. I wasn't even open to exposing myself to new information. I just wasn't. And so, but when you have people, in at the forefront that's willing to put in the work behind the scenes so that they can get on stage, or they can get in the spotlight and really be seen and heard for what they really done, that right there is the start to like planting seeds in the subconscious mind, so that people could really raise their awareness, like, damn, well, that do make sense, and I can match that up with what's going on in my life. And then it takes the willingness of a person to really activate on that seed that you dropped in their spirit, right? So this is really the start to like shifting generational curses, like having some other information to weigh against your own current beliefs and conditions. So I think we touched on a lot. I definitely think we did good, as it pertains to raising awareness, how red flags show up, and what causes a person to stick around and endure these red flags, or overlook them, or normalize them, how they show up within us internally. So I think we touched on a lot. Hey, J-Mo, who's that?
What's
Hey,
good,
J-Mo.
J-Mo? What's good, brother?
Brother J-Mo, what's good, brother? What's good, brother? You're welcome to come up and interject on this conversation, brother. Appreciate you coming, man. The link is in the chat, brother. We
Yep.
got
So we
Sister
just,
Divinity co-hosting today as well. So come on up, brother, if you like.
Yeah, so if you have any insight on how red flags show up physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, financially, within self, within your surroundings, we definitely would like to hear your take, because we got a good little momentum going. It is slowing down because I didn't ran out of questions. We've been on here for almost an hour and a half. So this is my first time co-hosting. I'm loving the flow of everything. If y'all have anything to intercept, if y'all want to say anything, that's fine. We could piggyback off if y'all want to say anything.
Yeah,
Formulate a discussion around that if you want.
yes. I think you did a wonderful job. When we're communicating, there's really actually no such thing as running out of questions. It's just as long as it's like the ocean never runs
Right.
out of waves. So it's just that maybe sometimes the ocean just don't have nothing to say, but it's still bringing them waves. So, at the end of the day, we just ride it, we just glide it. I think that as I look at this whole overall discussion, it's one main factor, and that's actually pushing mankind. Now, the specific areas of where we push mankind, yeah, we can get into the nitty gritty and the technicalities and the academia about those things, but we're dealing with advancement. And I think this is so enriching. I think this is so refreshing, and it's so equipping, because if you're a teacher, this is how I feel. If any man writes any book, if any man stands on any stage, if any man stands in front of anybody but himself to share any type of information, it must be for the equipping and edifying of those that are under the sound of his or her voice. If not so, then why speak at all?
Mm-hmm.
Why waste anybody's time when the greatest thing that they have is experience? And we know that experience can be a cruel teacher, or it can be a very kind teacher, depending on your understanding and your wisdom of life. And see, we are some of us are students of life, and we students of life, we become life. We literally become the embodiment of that. So when we
Mm-hmm.
start talking about quantum physics, that's nothing, man. We start talking about the cosmos. Because we say these things, it's not because we're trying to be smart or anything. We are literally painting a picture, showing the artistic simplicity of universal knowledge that humans, because that's what we decide that we want to roost at and become to be, not more or less to be gods on earth, but to be more or less like humans on earth. And that's okay. So we deal with our brothers where they're at. So we talk the language as they do. We break down this information, we do it with love, and we have fun. And that's the most important thing, that you have fun doing it. So, at the end of the day, man, it's like every situation is different, and we're all gonna react to situations, but the most important thing is to realize really who you are. Never lose sight of that. And if you could do that, you could do anything.
Well, I have a question. Everyone. So, you know, and this is an incredible build. You know, I'm having a very, very great time listening. You know, since everyone's responses. So, my question is, you know, how do we, even though we identify our red flags, you know, what's some advice can we give those who sees the red flags, but they deny the red flags? What kind of advice can we give people for that?
Oh man.
You want to speak?
Miss Leroy, you want to take that answer that one first, and then I'll.
I couldn't hear nothing he said.
Can you hear me now, sister? Can you hear me now, Miss Leroy?
That's why I've been moving around a lot. I mean, that's why Divinity was saying, Miss Leroy, keep moving around. I'm trying to get a good signal, and I'm not getting one. I can barely hear what you said. I don't even know what you said, Tony.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now, Sister Leroy? No. Okay.
Okay.
Brother, can you hear me now, Miss Leroy? You can hear me? No. Okay. Brother Azriel. Oh, let's see, she went out.
What's good, brother?
So, Brother Azriel, so what kind of advice can we give someone or a collective of people that see the red flags but deny the red flags?
Well, I would really literally deal with them. You know how I get down. I would deal with them on why they deny it, because they do see it. So I know that they see it. They're just denying it. And so there's two different. So I can't say that they're blind. So if they say that, hey, I see it, but I deny it, then I would say that that's to actually contradict your eyes, or you're not well balanced within your head, or you're double-minded about it. Because if you see these things, why don't you address these things? If you see these things, do they really actually bother you? These are things that I would really actually ask before I even think about trying to help. Because some people are literally unhelpable because they're actually completely disagreeable, and they actually feed off of that energy just to being disagreeable, and so they'll hide under pre-prepared topics to cause people to stumble. And what I mean by that is when teachers come out and they try to put out some good content, and then you have someone that'll take up a topic like, oh, I'm racist, immediately they threw the dynamics of that whole panel straight down to the left, and it's up to the teacher to fix all that. So at the end of the day, you know, that's
so can we say, brother? So can we say that they may just be complicit with the behavior of whoever?
absolutely
Right, and so from the red flags being, you know, saying noticed, and they're not paying mind to them, even though they know that they're there, but they're in denial about that's what it truly is.
right.
We can just say that they're complicit with the behavior. They don't mind the
Absolutely.
behavior because they don't want to
Absolutely.
disrupt anything between them and that person. They just, you know, saying they don't want to. They don't mind the discrepancy. So
Absolutely.
right. So to me, I would call a person like that, you know, just mentally, you know, fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
yeah, because
so,
if they can see it within another person, that's an indication that they can't see something within themselves. If you could see, you know, red flags externally, then that means that you're not seeing internally your self-worth. You don't feel like you could do better. You feel like you have to be there, and you understand that your best thinking got you where you are today. So if your best thinking got you where you are today, then what does that mean? You need to elevate your way of thinking. You need to align with positive thoughts. You need to start course correcting and building your self-worth, right? And that's going to be hard, but it's hard to stay and endure these red flags. I say that all the time.
Right.
Go ahead, Miss Leroy.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, King.
No, I like to address it in the comments. You know, Miles Kiddo says, if you don't recognize the red flag, you will be giving someone the green light. And that's so very true. It's like, because
yeah.
there's people that are that we see this. And so they'll sit back and they'll capitalize on your ignorance because that's a green light, you know, because you're out there and you don't recognize it. Well, shoot, while you sitting there tripping, I'm just going to slide to the left and I'm just going to plug this cat up real quick, and I'm going to back up real quick because I already got this. He's my man now. He don't know it right now because he's already following through this point, and I got him for about 10 years, and I can make this X amount of money off of them, because that's what we do out here in Cali. We'll plug you up. You know, if you're a smart cat and you come out here and you got that type of ambition, we'll take you out here to East LA, where you can put all that to work, man. But see, at the end of the day, while you there, you allow us to move weight because you're a distraction. So we use you in a political system. You still get what you want. We still set it up, but see, you benefit us. That's called friends with benefits. So like I said, you know, so at the end of the day, even trade is no swindle. But this is how things is done in state and out of state. So like I said, they'll capitalize on that. It's a green light. You know.
Yeah, true. That is a soul capitalization there, because you know you have people that'll sit there and knowing these certain things about you, and they use it against you. And that's one thing I don't like about a person.
Oh, yeah.
Just because you might know something about me, that don't mean you use it against me. You know what I'm saying, to tear me down. Because if I know something about you, you know what I mean, I wouldn't put it out there for the world to know, especially if it was something private. So yeah, that's an ultimate red flag. What you going to say, Sister Divinity? You want to say something?
I was just gonna say sometimes we make a big mistake by allowing people in too soon anyway, allowing people to know a little bit more than they're supposed to. And that's why I was speaking on boundaries. Like sometimes you meet a person and because you feel like there's a connection and because you have a vibe and you have no management of emotions, then you're gonna make decisions based off instinct, based off emotion, versus logic. Right. And so I'm saying that to say, just to speak on what you were saying, like sometimes we're a little bit more vulnerable than we should be. And that's a red flag for us to raise our awareness that why am I even like this? So let's go back to the drawing board. Let's go meditate. Let's go self-reflect so that I can, put this prevention strategy in place. Right. And so that I'm not given in areas that I'm not really being received. And people are draining me for information or draining me for validation or draining me for whatever selfish purposes that they have. Right. So that's an awareness for us to not be so accessible to people. I feel like sometimes we can get a little bit too comfortable too soon. And it's due to our conditioning, for real. And these are things that people need to be aware of. Like you have to be discerning with who you're giving what to, right? You cannot just make decisions based off emotion. This is why having intelligence or possessing intelligence over your emotions is very, very crucial. It's very crucial, right? Miss Leroy, we sorry. We didn't give you a chance to speak on that.
It's okay. Y'all excuse me for a second. Let me fix this.
Okay.
So I guess before I ask my next question, I'll wait for Ms. Leroy for a few seconds, and we can keep elaborating on the question I had asked at first. So some people do tend to deny these activities, and they deny them because they're not right within themselves. You know what I mean? They're used to having, this, I call it blue mind. When a person tends to, deny what's going on in front of them and behind them, and they just continue on with their life and not realizing what they're denying and not acknowledging is pretty much ruining a lot of things and creating an unsuccessful, environment around them. So, we have to be, vigilant. We have to actually look at things that are creating these red flags, because there's a reason why you couldn't go to work, or there's a reason why your boss fired you. There's a reason why your car broke down because you might not have been paying attention. There's a reason why your relationship didn't work out. There's a reason why your business is failing. There's a reason why your friendship is failing. Like, it's so many things that we have to recognize, but we can't see them all. Sometimes we gotta hit face first into the wall before we finally see it. It happens sometimes. But when we see it, what do we do to to resolve that situation? What is our solution to it? What have we learned from it? So yeah, I get it, man. Red flags can be tricky, sometimes. They can be tricky because you can have a person doing this all day and they plotting against you. You see what I'm saying? So we got to be careful, man, who we allow, like I always say, in our circle. You know what I'm saying? Because once they step in that circle, you've given them access. You see what I'm saying? Now you got to be careful what you put out and what you give them access to. So yeah, that's a major red flag as well, man.
People
Because
come with a whole lot of hidden agendas. Y'all be careful.
man, do they? Do they, man? So I'm gonna ask this other question. Then I want you to go ahead and take it back over, Sister Divinity. So, Sister Leroy, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Sister? No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She can hear me.
Yeah. I'm just having
She can
problems with
get
the
a
internet.
chance.
I don't know what's going on.
Okay. So I'm gonna ask you the same question, Sister. What advice can you give someone that that sees the red flags but they deny the red flags? Sister Leroy.
You say, what advice can I give someone on what?
What advice can you give someone that see the
What did
red
you say?
flags? What advice can you give someone that sees the red flags but they deny the red flags? Did you
Oh,
get it, Sister?
that means they're in a denial. They don't want to see it. They in denial. They don't want to see the red flags.
And what advice can you give them?
They feel sometimes people. Oh, what advice can I give? What when you having a red flag, if you find a relationship, sir.
Overall, Sister, overall.
Okay, if you see red flags, relationship, friendship, whatever it may be, either if you see it and you do not pay attention to it, then you prefer to be involved with the red flags. You don't want to be in you're instead of being in denial, you just dealing with it. But for me, if I see a red flag, that means that means you need to move around. That means you need to move around and do and find something else instead of that red flag, because that red flag means bad things, or sometimes it might be horrible things. It all depends on what the red flag is for you. What are you into? I'm sorry, yeah, I'm frustrated. I've been trying to get this thing to work all day. I've been messing with this internet. I don't know.
It's all right, Sister. So my clock over here, running over here, y'all, and we down to we down to about 29 minutes. We got 29 minutes left, y'all, and then we can get out of here. 29 minutes left, we can get out of here.
I mean, we've
Yeah.
been having a
So,
good show, but I've been fighting with the internet all day.
oh
I
no,
don't
no, no, you.
understand.
No, you're okay, Sister. I was just putting out there that my clock just moves the way it want to move, but it's okay, Sister. You good? So go ahead, Sister Divinity. Go ahead, take it over, Sister.
Okay. Well, moving right along. Just throw me back in there, huh? Okay. So how can we or what do you base like what is the metric system, if you will, or how do you categorize something as being a red flag? How do you personally categorize something as being a red flag? So red flag means as a whole what to you? To put it
I
like in
mean,
simple terms.
um, red is normally a symbol of fire to me. It's hot. You know, so it's gonna get my attention. It doesn't mean it can destroy me if I respect fire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a spiritual person, so I can only give a spiritual point of view. That's the
Mm-hmm.
path that I follow. So, but paying reverence or respect to the red flag, I would look at it as being something to um, give my attention immediately. The reason why I'm going to give it the attention immediately is because I'm in a physical body, and this physical body is not in the immortal state right now. So that red flag might cost me. If I become arrogant or nonchalant or just brush it away like it doesn't mean anything, and I do see it, I do recognize it's a red flag, and I continue on my journey anyway, that may be the last journey I may be on. Okay. And so and I ignore my intuition and I continue to go. Those things can cost you. So just off the strength of that, all red flags I personally address as something to devote my utmost attention to. Once I understand why that red flag is there, I understand. Now I start to understand the level of caution that needs to be partaked while I'm still deciding and making a wise to conscious decision to deal with this red flag, whether it's in a relationship, financial thing. You know what I mean? I am in it and it's attached to me, or by some way, shape, form, or fashion. So therefore, I have to address these things. And so when I take that type of perception and I apply that to my everyday life, it's not more of looking at a red flag like something spooky, but it's actually something that I bring under my arsenal because now I have scholarship on, because I
Mhm.
am not reacting to the red flag anymore. I am responding to the red flag nowadays. And in order to respond to anything, you have to understand what you're responding to.
Come
Other
on.
than that, you will be reacting from a animalistic point of view, which I don't do. So, as a personal thing, this is how I simplify. My life is how I solidify what I do, and it is exhibited by what I bring to the table with my experience. So, that's what I got to say about that one.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you made reference to red being fire and the heat of the situation, the impact of the situation that raises your awareness. Miss Leroy,
Yeah,
can you hear us? You so over it. I know you just like, yeah.
yeah, I can hear y'all.
Can you hear us?
It just keep breaking up. Yeah, I can hear you.
I know. We almost done. Okay, so the last question was basically how do you categorize a red flag? Red flag means what to you, like as a whole? What does that mean? What does it mean to you
Can you
or
repeat
for
that one
you?
more time for me, please?
Yeah, what does red flag? How do you categorize red
Huh?
flags? Like what does hold on. Hold on. Let's see.
I'm frozen.
How is that? Can you hear? Can you hear us?
I can hear you, but you're
Yeah,
frozen.
it still
I'm
sounds like a
frozen.
robot. That's why I keep moving
I'm
around.
frozen. Y'all don't see me
Yeah,
moving?
you're I can hear your mouth.
Yeah,
I can hear you very well. I can hear you very well,
and
I
but I'm
can
frozen
I
too.
can
But it's all
see
good.
I can see and hear everyone really well, and y'all not frozen on my end. Y'all,
Dang, that's too bad.
mm, yeah, I see y'all really well.
Well, I'm
Right here,
frozen on my end.
Ma Carew says anything red represents caution. Yes, it does, brother. You know, red means stop and be careful. Red, yeah, red can be. You know, I don't know, but maybe red can be a good color and it can be a bad color. But it's mostly been bad for this. In this day and age. So, but I can see y'all pretty well though.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, hopefully it clears up for us. Okay, let's try again, Miss Leroy.
okay. Now, what was the question, baby?
How do you categorize red flags? Like what does like as a whole, what does red flag when you hear red flags, what does that represent for you? What does that mean?
How do I capture a red flag or capitalize
No,
a red flag?
categorize it. What do you base it up? What do you base a red flag? Okay, like what set the standard for it being a red flag, basically? And I know some of these questions might sound real simple, but some
Uh,
people really need their awareness raised to this, capacity. So to really sometimes put things plain and simple helps a lot.
yeah, it's just that you were going in and out, and I couldn't hear what you said. So I was saying you saying it don't even much matter. I'm so tired of this internet. Um,
It's almost over.
what do I characterize? What did you say?
What does red flag mean to
That's
you
why I'm
or
trying to
for
understand
you?
what you said. Oh, okay, a red flag. What does it mean to me? Red flag to me means something's gonna happen that's not supposed to happen. That's like me not taking my medication and my body shut down on me. That's a red flag, you know? Or either a red flag for me is like sometimes I break out and don't be paying attention to it and I swell up from mouth and nose and eyes. That's a red flag for me. I end up that's a red flag.
Okay.
But in relation and some other things, I don't really know right now offhand. Maybe because I'm frustrated. I've been trying to work with this thing all day, and half the stuff I couldn't even hear.
So do we look for red flags or do we kind of just allow them to happen and we deal with them as they come? Like, are we checking? Are we reflecting? Are we
I
assessing?
I mean, this is getting tough. Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why this is tough. Because this is one thing to deal with somebody outside of
I
yourself, and it's
can't.
one person, and then it's another thing dealing with
I'm sorry,
multiple
y'all. I
people.
can't
As
understand nothing y'all saying.
I don't know. It's
can,
real
can,
staticky.
can you hear me? Can you all hear what I'm
I
saying?
can hear you just
And I
fine.
can't understand now one of y'all.
Sister Leroy,
We can hear Miss
is
Leroy.
there another position that you can take in your home somewhere, maybe by the front door or maybe the
Uh-oh.
kitchen, garage? Okay, she
Sorry,
went
Miss
out.
Leroy.
Yeah, she went out. Okay,
When she
y'all,
go
y'all.
down, is that her leaving out and coming back in, or is that just the
Well,
reception?
that's her reception that's
Oh,
going on right now. It's just tripping on. Y'all can continue though.
maybe she
We'll
should
wait till
try
she
to
come
leave
back.
out and come back in.
Hmm. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, so basically I was just asking, like, do you look for red flags? Like, are you assessing? I think you was in the middle of answering that though. So go ahead.
Oh, you're speaking to me, correct?
Right. I'm sorry. I didn't make that clear. You want me to reiterate what I said?
Yeah. Please.
So with us talking about red flags, and we know that, they are to raise our awareness. Now moving forward, do we
Correct.
look for the red flags? Are we searching for red flags? Are we
Ah,
reflecting? Are we
yeah.
assessing? Or are we kind of just approaching them as they come and dealing with them as we deal with our
I
healing?
got, I got you. I
Hmm.
got you. Yeah, and I think that I said it's getting hard. It's getting
Yeah.
hard to answer that type of questions because it's like our experiences are so very different, and let's deal with emotions too, because as we're dealing with vibrations, we have to deal with emotions, and emotions are very powerful because they're connected to the vibrations. When you're very happy and you're full of gratitude, I mean, it's basically the highest vibration you can get to,
Hmm.
and then you start to reach into the agape love, and so forth
Hmm.
and so on. I mean, these are different states of minds and different energy levels. And so, as we start to look at that, those emotions have can go up and down without a text message, without an email, without anything, and it's catastrophic too if the outside force, whether they be people, places, or thing, that you do not have control over of that matter, or maybe you won't have control over it ever
Hmm.
down here. And then those are emotions that are attached to it that will completely offset and actually create. And if you're not careful, it will literally actually subconsciously create a whole new different avenue somewhere else for strength, for confidence. And this is how people rebuild themselves. But when they rebuild themselves, this fragments of really actually what was destroyed or whatever was uh, salvageable, if you will. And so, but I'm talking energy work here. So, and that's really where all this stuff happens. And then people, they think that they're okay, but they're really not healed. So no, man, some of us don't go out there looking deliberately for red flags. We know that red flags is all around us all the time. It's anything that makes us uncomfortable. It's anything that hijacks our minds, that violates our rights. Anything that puts you in a position where you are not holding the reins of your life. Then yes, these are all red flags, and it doesn't take long to know these things. So we have to instantly make decisions on these things. But if you are one of those type of people that go out there and look for red flags, man, do what you do. Because at the end of the day, we learn from people like you, and we wouldn't have the data that we do have today if it wasn't for people that go out there looking for red flags, because there's ramifications. So we learn from those people that have experience in going and looking for red flags. And also, you learn from people who do not look for red flags and survive whatever ramifications to talk about it from that perspective. So, that's kind of the best way that I can answer that, man. But where do I think that we're going as a whole? I think that a lot of people haven't even done self work yet. So it's really
Right.
kind of hard to even answer that. So,
No, that was
yeah.
a well spoken response. Miss Leroy, Miss Allison. What you want? Would you prefer us to call you Miss Allison or Miss Leroy? Because I see you have Allison up here.
It
It
don't
don't matter.
matter, honey.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So I don't know. Did you answer that? Did you get a chance to answer? Do we go looking for the red flags, or are we kind of just dealing with them as they come?
Red flags, you can't look for them. Usually they just pop up out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I try to avoid them. I try. I just don't. I can't deal with stuff like that. I'm not. I'm not built that way anymore. You
Right.
know.
Right. So, in closing, what type of tips can we briefly give on shifting these red flags? Of course, we can't change what a person is doing, but what type of tips can we or different strategies can? And I know I kind of touched on it a little bit, but just real briefly, like meditate. Like for me, so meditation is something that helps me stay on top of or I don't want to say stay on top, but it keeps me prepared for, different red flags to occur. Right. So it gives me the understanding that I can't have a bird's eye
I
view. Go ahead.
I read my Bible. I pray a lot. You know, I read my Bible. I pray a lot. And red flags come at you anytime or any day. It could be for anything. So
Hmm.
I believe in my God regardless. You know, He gets me through whatever I go through. So I just pray a lot about it. That's something I can do.
And so is prayer the only cooperative component required to shift something that is kind of like sending or urging red flags within you? Like is prayer okay, so basically what I'm asking is when you pray, the red flags that you see coming up with inside of you, because we have red flags that sometimes we working on them or we overlooking them or whatever. When you pray, does the red flag subside? And now we speaking on self. Now we're not talking about external, we're talking about self. When you pray, like let's say that you
Yes,
have. Mhm, it does.
yes, it does. Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
the so pretty much what you do is praying. And do you do any type of actionary or disciplinary uh action after the prayer in order to kind of manifest that outcome result, or it kind of just it seemed like it just happened for you?
Um, I burn my it's not the sage, it's the wood part. I burn my spiritual I can't tell you the name of it, but I burn it and I take it through the whole entire house.
Okay.
I pray through my whole entire house, bless my whole entire house, in and
Right.
out.
And you set your intentions and everything, right? You got your emotions wrapped up in it, your belief system and everything. It's powerful, really, what you can do when you really get your
Mhm.
the totality of who you are and what you are wrapped up in a certain thing, right? Whether it's for good or bad. So,
Yeah, I
what
know.
about you, King? Just
Right.
brief tips on shifting those red flags internally if once we start noticing them.
The best way to do that is to operate in the greatest power that you have, and that's the power of choice. And it's a
Hmm.
very powerful thing. It's so simple that it's hard for people. And this is what I mean by that. And this is what separates men from God and makes man God. Um, and I won't put scripture to that on this particular one, but I'll put an example. When you know exactly who you are, and situations and adversity comes, you have the ability to actually absorb, okay? Meaning that when you absorb, meaning you become one with it. That's what you do. And you become one with all the ramifications and all the blessings and cursings that come with being able to have that gift to be able to absorb, okay? Or you can have the ability to release. Now, the ability to release is that you absorb what is coming to you and then you release it. Now, when you release this, there is no residue. Well, it shouldn't be any residue, but sometimes it is because people don't do self work. And this is the reason why I say it's so important to do self work. Now, what is self work? Know thyself, and you will know God. And what I mean by that is this: it's very simple. You should know you. There is not nobody on this planet that can tell you about you other than you. I don't care how many Bibles you have on your book. I don't care how many scholars you can call on speed dial on your phone. If you don't know you, you will be a slave to the
Mhm.
greatest type of entity, which is called I know more than you,
Mhm.
because I took my time to research and you took your time not to do so. And so this is my advice
Amen.
to everybody and every woman and
Yeah, I can't
child,
park
man.
in front of the building, but I'm parking the drive.
Oh, Miss Leroy, can you mute your mic, Queen? Okay, we with you.
Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's what I would say, because we all start at a level where we depend on our parents. And then that time period ends. And then we get excited about life because we believe that what we saw as far as our families have enjoyed, that we will have it one day in our lives. And sometimes that don't come to fruition for some of us. And we know all the stories. But for those of us that are here, I just want to keep it very simple. In life, you will be faced with a lot of things. Do not hold on to anything that does not serve you.
Mhm.
If it serves you, but it serves you in a way where it actually affects others around you, just think about that. Think about that. Because you may say, well, fuck it. It's a fucking up world. And so if you get it, then cool, I don't matter. Just think about it. Really, what goes around comes around. Just take it in consideration. I'm not saying you got to do it. And I'm not telling you nothing you haven't heard already. Only thing that I am saying is that take that in consideration and moving on now for those people that do understand that it is a wonderful thing, but it's a process. Don't rush the process. Embrace the process. Don't talk about the experience, live the experience.
Mhm.
Don't just be a passerby of the experience, be a absolute scholar of your own experience. And then you will be able to read the scriptures and get a full understanding.
I've been
And then when
side
you
door.
speak, you'll literally have something to say. And that's what I have to say about that, Queen.
Yes, 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 yes. You will have an experience raising the awareness to self. You will come in contact with an experience that surpasses the magnitude of the words. Like the words can't even reach the magnitude of experience that you will have. I always appreciate your responses, and I can probably get rather comfortable coming on here to co-host every now and then. Because I like to take on others' perspectives. I hate being in like teacher mode, preacher mode, and always just giving my energy. I like to create like a powerful synergy that we can all like build momentum, around and create just an organic, light so that others can, just get the lesson and get whatever insight, whatever seed that we drop in their spirit, right? Because this is all divine. Like I feel like this was not by chance. Things are happening in divine timing for me now. This is my harvest season. So anytime y'all see me here, y'all know it's really me versus me. And it's really just me experiencing myself in a whole new light for real with, other like-minded individuals. So I do appreciate y'all for tuning in. We got about 8 minutes left. I'm gonna let Tony come back up for his last 8 minutes. If you have any questions, if y'all got questions in the chat, y'all could jump up, ask us questions. And then if y'all have any other insights or perspectives that you want to speak on, we could piggyback off that for the last 8 minutes if you want to do it like that. Um, However y'all want to do it, we can rock this out these last 8 minutes. And then if y'all don't have
Okay.
anything, then I'm pretty sure I'll come up with another question.
All right. What was
No, no, no,
that?
nobody. Because this has been very insightful.
All
This has
right,
been very
man.
insightful.
Yes,
This
it
internet
has.
been a hot mess.
This has been a very insightful topic, man. Conversation. Excellent build. Excellent build. I always enjoy everyone's responses. Miss Leroy's, Brother Azriel, Sister Divinity. So I'll take these last few minutes because we're gonna head out of here. I appreciate everybody for tuning in on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. I appreciate all y'all
Oh
bringing the
man, it's getting
support
bad, brother.
and I appreciate y'all tuning in and being educated on saying how to identify the red flags in your life. Okay, and I want everyone that's tuning in right now. Okay, take all of this information and try to apply it from all of these different perspectives that you have heard this from. Okay, Now, it may help you, if you allow it to, and it may not help some. But hopefully, we've reached enough of you to help you realize that red flags are indeed important to recognize and resolve in your lives. So do not ignore them. Do not ignore them. Okay. So let me I'm gonna so the next thing I'm gonna do, everyone, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all know now. I'm gonna just promote for a second. Do not forget to come March 1st to Sister Divinity's book session. Okay, do not
Yes.
forget. Do not forget this, y'all. All right, this is Sister Divinity's book session. She will have a book session on Bigo Live. Okay, so download the Bigo app, follow this sister, follow Sister Divinity, and be there live for the session. That way you can get to know this sister. She's going to talk about the book and teach you some things about the book and, help you understand, the education and the knowledge of the book. So do not forget, March 1st, download the Bigo app now. Also, download the Bigo app and follow Brother Azriel Yahuda Bay. As you can see, he speaks with a lot of knowledge and intelligence, very articulate. Do not forget to download this app if you want to hear this brother speak. Come to his panels, and I'm pretty sure he will drop that knowledge on your ass. All right. So don't forget, y'all. All right. And don't also, I want y'all to remember to get this sister's book, From Energetic Particles to Material Matter, a book on spiritual ascension. Okay. Remember that. Because, see, if y'all don't get this book, obviously y'all not trying to learn nothing from the sister. Because she's a very good teacher. She speaks with a lot of, articulated words, and she pretty much reaches a lot of people. Now, if y'all ain't feeling the rumble, I don't know what the hell y'all feeling. Maybe y'all need to eat some vegetables or something. Okay. All right. So this sister is ready to teach y'all. She's been doing this for quite some time. So, I'm pretty sure she got it under control. So if you want to see how well this sister can put it together and help you understand this book of knowledge, be at the session on Bigo March 1st. Okay. She will be there live. Do not miss it, people. All right. Brother Azriel will also be on the Bigo app. Follow him as well. I'm pretty sure when he start a panel, you don't want to miss that show. Trust me when I tell you that, because his brother bringing the heat. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't there to rub and put a band-aid on your boo-boo neither. So don't be coming over there for that mess. He coming to tell you like it is. Okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna come over there and follow you too, King. I'm gonna come over there and check you out with your panel discussions and stuff too.
Right.
It's all good. Much love.
And Ms. Leroy, did you have anything you want to promote as far as any content or anything, or you just want to give a shout out to the people and let everybody know how about the show, how you enjoyed the show? Anything you want to say right now, Ms. Leroy, about anything you want to promote? Anything?
No.
What'd you say?
No.
You said no. Oh, okay. Okay. So I'll go ahead and let y'all close out. So I'll start with Miss Leroy. Miss Leroy, go ahead with your closing remarks.
This was a very entertaining show for today. I enjoyed it. The most that I could hear because of the internet, and I've been walking around all day, y'all, going outside, everything. I don't know. But maybe it'll be better next time. But God bless, and I love you all.
All right. So, Brother Azriel, your closing remarks.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. Like always, it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to speak and to be able to fellowship and to be able to reciprocate, wonderful information that's beneficial, especially when it involves self work. So, well done, my brother. Well done. Good job. And thank you for having me. And my advice, as always, is do your self work. Love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Definitely when dealing with hard situations. Remember that no one's gonna love you like you, and there's nothing wrong with loving yourself a little bit more than some people may agree with. As long as you're not condescending and beating people up, man, do your thing, man. It's all good.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, I want to just say something. Do y'all like my team? Do y'all like these powerful speakers? Yeah, give you chills
Yeah, I
sometimes,
love
don't
this
you?
here so far.
Give y'all chills sometimes. Y'all sitting there watching, but yeah, y'all know y'all getting chilled. Y'all like, woo, hold on. Yeah, I know. Sister Divinity, your closing remarks, sister.
Well, that's pretty much the show. Pretty much has spoken for itself. You'll see us more together, creating this powerful synergy, raising awareness on a more universal scale. I love conversations like this, not solely just to be a speaker, but to be of value to people who might be under the sound of my voice and may need it. Because I didn't have anyone to pop on my screen and tell me or expose me to development
Excuse me.
or to really present ideas and possibilities to me. So yeah, you'll see more of my face on here. I'm definitely warming up, so I'll be on your screen. That was my alarm ringing.
Oh, okay. So, hey, look here, and look, don't any of y'all say nothing bad about Sister Divinity on how she hosts the show. She hosts the show great. And you know what? The question is, and I'm gonna throw this out here. The question is, can your ass do it? How about that? Before you think of anything negative, I'm gonna beat you to it before you get there. Can you do it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyway.
And you know what? I'm beginning to get comfortable in my uncomfortability because I know that that's the only way I'm gonna grow. That's the only way I'm gonna learn. This time last year, I would have came up with an excuse, Tony. I wouldn't have been able to co-host your show. I would have came up with something, right? But
Yeah.
now standing here, it's kind of like I measure that growth. And that's the growth that I'm talking about. The work that we do off the screen gives us the powerful message when we come on the screen. It's the integrity of the person, right? We can give these messages, we can regurgitate, but it's not going to hit the same if we're not doing our work. Like King always talk about, King Azriel always talk about doing the work. He's been talking about it today, the shadow work. That's the work we're talking about. You overcoming yourself so that now when you have a message, it hits more powerfully because people are picking up energetically bits and pieces of that experience that you had to overcome. So it's been amazing here. We will schedule this again soon.
Hey, sister, I gotta have you come back and do this again. And brother Azriel, I'm, saying, let's see, what's this? This Tuesday. So yeah, brother Azriel, I want to see, if you can, carry the show too, man. Because y'all my team, man. Y'all my teammates. You know what I'm saying? And I want everybody to have a chance, to be able to host their own perspectives, to be able to do, a lot of things on the show. I want y'all to also have, activities to do on the show as well, and not just me running my damn mouth. Okay, so. So I want y'all to be able to come on the show, host sometimes, co-host, and and enjoy yourselves, man. So I'm glad that everybody that's watching, I'm glad y'all enjoyed them. It's always a gift, to have their presence here on the show. I'm telling y'all, man, this is a great gift. We have a lot of
You go
powerful
in here a little
speakers,
bit.
man, and we have got to learn to listen to
A
people
little
that
bit.
have power in their speech. And it's not that I'm not saying that everybody that has power in their speeches is can reach people, because some people come off a little negative. But these two bright, beautiful minds right here on this screen, on your screen, your phone, your TV, whatever, they are powerful in their
One
speech, and
time.
they come with very positive energy. So you can learn a lot from them. I've
One
learned a
time.
lot from them since I've been, networking with them and working with them. So, hey, man, y'all need to listen up. Don't be no fool. Just listen up, because they can teach you something. And I'm glad that they come on the show, and I can get them to come on the show. Now, my next question is, sister, do you because I have evening panels on here, podcast
King.
panels.
Maybe he muting. Israel, can you mute it real quick, King, so we can hear?
Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Okay.
I got
So,
no control over my camera.
okay. You hear a lot of wind going in. Yeah. Okay. So, can you hear me, sister?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, I do evening podcast panels on Bigo. My panel is a podcast panel. It's not like one of those just regular panels where everybody come in and talk. No, everything is podcast. Everything. And I know you don't be having time in the evenings, but like I guess if you ever have time in the evenings to come on one of my podcasts on Bigo, would you be able to do that if you ever had time to do that? Or should I just reach out to you and ask you later or something like that?
You know what? This weekend specifically, I believe both of the children will be gone, and I do not have any scheduled meetings with my team outside of this week. So possibly this weekend I'll be able to come in the evening time. But what you could do to confirm it, I'm pretty sure I will be able to on Friday. That Friday evening, just hit me up. But which days is it? Is it Friday or Saturday?
I do evening podcasts all through the week on Bigo, all through the week, every day.
All through the week. Oh, not the weekend.
No, I do it every day. Yeah, all through the week. Yeah, every day. Yeah. So
okay, so if any time I would be available in the evenings, it would be most likely on weekends. But like I said, I'm balancing a lot. But this weekend for sure, just hit me up Friday, and then it'll be on clear on my conscience, and I'll set a reminder or something to be there.
What's a good time for you that evening? What it would be like? Because I like to start between 5 and 7. Is that a good time?
Probably 5.
5? Okay.
The earlier the better with me.
Okay, yeah. I trust me. I know that. Trust me. If I don't catch you early, I ain't gonna see you. Straight ghost. So,
no, that's just until everything balances itself out.
Right. Brother Azriel, can I expect to see you he didn't jumped out of there. Well, hopefully, I'm sure he'll come. Yeah, I'm sure he'll come to the podcast. He's been to a few of them. And I got to say, some of the podcasts I've had, Sister, on Bigo, man, has been kind of lit. I mean, I didn't have people come through there, and try to take over my show. Like, try to talking crazy, you know what I mean?
Passion, huh?
Yeah, especially the topics are so deep, for people. They're so deep, like, man, that's just too. You try to get in my head. I'm like, no, I just want to know where you stand on the topic. You know what I mean? But if you think it's some sort of mental attack, then, you don't have to answer any of my questions, You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah.
And let me just say that I love the two of you, your perspective. I love the way that you guys are able to like fully receive the information that I be kicking. So I'm just welcoming both of y'all to the panel on March 1st. If y'all have time to come, make sure y'all have y'all books in y'all hand if you can. And we just gonna really like get this divine healing and insight. And I love the way you and I connect, King Azriel. So I definitely am extending that warm welcome to you as well. I'm gonna go follow you on Bigo. If you can't make it, you just can't make it. But that's just my offer, okay?
I'll be there.
All right, man. Absolutely.
I'll be there with or without the book. I'll be there regardless. Okay, you better believe that. Hey, Brother Azriel, brother, I just said, yeah, he tends to come out. Hopefully, he'll come out to the panel this evening. I got a good topic. You know what I mean? And, I had somebody else come on there. Who was that? I forgot. I don't think Brother Azriel was. Oh, that was last night. He came through a few times. And I had somebody come on there. I forgot the guy's name. I don't know. I don't know. I just have to mute him sometimes. He's just ridiculous, man. Yeah, but I enjoyed this, y'all. I really did. I enjoyed this, man. This is, this was educational and it was also fun. And I'm glad that we can, spew out all of this information and knowledge to people. Just put something in somebody's mind, man. Get them to start thinking. About their choices in life, because when we make choices, that also like changes the very aspect of everything around us too. Like I can choose, not to do something, but then if I choose not to do whatever it is I need to do, it could change something. So so yeah, let's be careful on our choices. Let's be careful. Okay.
Wow.
And anything else I would like to add, Brother Azriel, Sister Divinity, before we go?
Nope, that's it. Well, on my end, that's it. I'm just looking forward to the next time that we can do this.
Matter of fact, I think what Thursday. Well, yeah, Thursday I do lives too. I don't know. I don't think I have a. I mean, if y'all want to be a guest Thursday, y'all can. Because I was gonna do a. I was gonna go Thursday and then be, just go on there myself. But I really like to have guests when I go live, though. Real talk. I like to have my team up here with me as well. And I know earlier is the better for you. What Thursday? Can you do Thursday at 5, sister? Or are you closed out? No.
No,
Okay.
not Thursday at 5. But we could schedule something for next week if that's better, and then we can just play it by
Yeah.
ear. Give me a call, and no rush. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. How about How about this? We'll just I could just have you
sorry,
on.
my alarm just went off again. But you muted. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I could just, what, sister? I could just do this.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can do this, sister.
Nope. I
We'll
can't hear.
you can't hear
Damn.
you can't hear me at all? No?
Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, I'm gonna leave. I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Let me
All
try
right. Okay. It happens. Can you hear us now? Can you hear me now? No? Can you hear me now? No.
Okay. Nope.
No.
Nothing.
All
Okay,
right,
y'all.
sister.
Y'all take
All
care.
right.
Okay, I can't hear anything.
All right. All right.
I don't know what's going
All
on.
right.
Okay. All right. I appreciate everybody for coming to the show today and watching the show. And make sure that you do not forget to do not forget, y'all, to go, all right, and get this sister's book. Okay. Right here. From Energetic Particles to Material Matter, a book on spiritual ascension. Do not forget, go to Amazon.com. Okay, Amazon.com, and order your book today. From Energetic Particles to Material Matter, a book on spiritual ascension. Do not forget, order your book today. And also, do not forget to do not forget to download the Beagle app and follow Brother Azriel Yahuda Bay. I enjoyed the show today. I thank everyone that tuned in, and I thank everyone that for coming and watching. And also, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Tony Real the God Chronicles. I do lives every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay, live broadcast with a panel, okay, and without a panel. Sometimes it's just me. All right. So I will be live again this Thursday. It may be just me or maybe someone else, depending on everyone's schedule. You know what I mean? And also remember Sundays, everyone. Remember, I have Chronicle Talk with Tony Sundays, every Sunday, 5 p.m. live broadcast stream. All right here on my YouTube channel, Tony Real God Chronicles. Okay, so do not forget, y'all. Don't forget. I just want to make sure I forget anything. So yeah, if you download the Beagle app, I will be doing a live panel tonight at between 5 and 7 p.m. So if you don't see me at 5, that means you'll see me at 7. All right. All right. If you don't see me at 7, that means I've decided not to get on. Okay, y'all. Thank everybody for coming, man. I holler at y'all, man. This has been a great build with these three intelligent minds. Thank you, Sister Leroy, for coming to the panel and being a part of this build. Thank you, Sister Divinity and Brother Azriel. It's always a gift for your presence to be on the show, and as my teammates, building this brand. And I appreciate everyone, all right, for sharing and liking this video as well, okay? And if it's something that I missed or I didn't announce, I apologize. I can't remember everything, all right, y'all? So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, man. And that's it, man. Thank y'all for coming, man. We are out, family. We are out, man. Oh, wait. Can't go out yet. Hold on. One more thing I forgot to add, y'all. So this Saturday, February 5th, Brother Sheik will be teaching on the channel right here on Tony Real the God Chronicles. Brother Sheik will be here, and he's coming to speak, and he's coming to teach. If you want to see this brother in action and you want to see this great teaching that he is about to present, then make sure you tune in this Saturday, February 5th at 4 p.m. to watch this brother go in and teach the masses on his standpoint on religion and the Moorish belief. So if y'all are ready to hear this brother bring these cross references and this information and give you this knowledge and maybe help you in your life in the very aspect of helping you, make a difference. If you're ready to learn something, then you come on through February 5th at 4 p.m. Central Time. And Brother Sheik is coming to speak, and he's coming to teach. Holla at your motherfucking boy. All right, family. I'm out.